All right, all right. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, Facebook and YouTube. Happy Friday, Instagram. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. Thank you so very much to every single person that is jumping on live or replay. Okay, I know Instagram, they just now saying that I'm live. So come on in. Come on in, come on in. If you all jump on, this is what I'm going to ask you to do. Please do me a favor and just let me know where you're tuning in from. Like, drop your city, drop your state, drop your country, whatever you want to rep that today, because this is part 4. This is our final part of our Recession Ready series. Okay, so we are going to close it out today. This has been 4 weeks of a lot of information. We've gone over 11 topics so far. I had to think. We've gone over 11 topics so far, and I want to give you the final 3 topics tonight on this Friday. So thank you all so very much for jumping on. Look, whatever you do, y'all don't forget, those likes really do help. So on Facebook and Instagram, give me some likes, some hearts. I appreciate it. YouTube, hey, y'all, I need you to give the thumbs up, okay? Because on YouTube, that's what sends out the notification that I'm live. There are people interacting. So go give the thumbs up and then come back in the chat and, hit the heart and all that stuff as these things start to be, as I start to share, I should say. As I start to share and things are starting to make more sense and the pieces to the puzzle are getting put together, then you can continue to hit that heart and all that, okay, on YouTube. Next thing, y'all, please make sure that you do me a favor, and for YouTube specifically, hit that notification bell if you have not already, especially if you're not part of the Prosperity Cause community and you want to know when I'm going live. I do make sure that I prepare and I put these things out beforehand so you can be notified that there is a live coming up, okay? So if you hit the notification bell, though, you'll be notified of when I'm going live. And instead of like, oh, man, I missed the live stream, you can actually be here with me and everyone else all at the same time. And for those of you that are watching on Facebook and Instagram, as well as YouTube, feel free to share this live stream with anyone you know, especially if you've been watching the other parts of this series. Feel free to share this with anyone you know that could use it, y'all. We are at a time where information is very valuable, and we need to be able to have it so we know what to do, how to implement it in our lives. So make sure that you share this with your people, whoever you appreciate, whoever you love, whoever is a part of your circle. For whatever reason, Instagram is acting up. So I'm going to get back on. And yeah, I don't know what's going on with Instagram. Sorry, y'all, on Facebook and YouTube. So we'll do this. Bam. There we go. So that's it. Thank you all so very much for jumping on. I appreciate it. Last thing before we get into all of this, y'all, please make sure that you remember I am not a financial advisor. Okay? I'm not. All I do is share information on this channel, on this live stream for Facebook and Instagram. All I do is share information that I have implemented in my personal life or strategies that's been told to me by my financial advisor. So I'm on the trajectory to accomplish those things. So please, y'all, do your own research with everything that is shared tonight. Consult with your financial advisor if you have one before considering doing anything that I mentioned in this live stream and on this YouTube channel. And listen, if you don't have one, that's okay. You can borrow mine. Seriously, I can give you her information and you can, connect with her and see if she's your cup of tea or not. If she is, great. If she's not, it's all good. Go find you one then. All right. But you can't say I didn't attempt to help you out, because not only am I sharing information that I get from her and things that I have applied due to trial and error, okay, as well as success stories. But not only that, I'm sharing that information with you all. Plus, I'm attempting to share my resources with you. So there it is. You can't say I ain't done anything for you, okay? So And then last part to that, y'all, investing is very risky. So I will be talking about different things that you consider investing in according to your budget, okay, according to your pocketbook and according to your risk tolerance. But just know that every investment, there is a risk associated with it, and we need to make sure that we are properly prepared, okay, and we move according to that risk. So we're not going to sit here and just waste our money, lose our money unnecessarily because we have not done the proper research. Y'all, we're going to do the proper research so that way we're not losing money and we're definitely not jeopardizing our livelihood and livability, okay? So that is it. Now, we got all that out the way. Let's move on. Let's get into this series. Remember, y'all, last week we talked about 3 different topics. It was health insurance. I also covered, the importance of staying informed of the economic climate, okay? And then also talk to you about why you should consider living below your means. So those were 3 topics out of the total of 14 steps that I've been providing or will be providing during this series, okay? So I went into detail on each one of those 3 in YouTube. There is a link in the description. It gives you part 1, 2, and 3. You can go back and watch each part of this series if you missed any of them, okay? So that should help you out. On Facebook, I believe it's in there for you as well. Instagram, y'all just have to click the link in my bio to be able to see it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Instagram. It's like really tripping right now. So I'm probably going to just close that out because, yeah, it's really not working. I don't know what's going on with Instagram. Like, it's really tripping. So yeah, but anyway, so tonight I'm going to touch on the final 3 steps of our 14 steps in becoming recession ready. So one of the first ones, this is going to be number 12, is to secure essential supplies. I'm going to go into that in detail tonight. And then the number 13 is going to be to review and adjust your investments. And then, of course, number 14 is prepare for the long term. Now, if you agree with all or some, or you may disagree with all or some of the things I shared tonight, that's fine. I still want to hear from you, okay? Whether it's live or replay, I still want to hear from you. Excuse me. I want you to share your thoughts, okay? Because I am only one person and I don't know everything. Y'all know that. None of us are perfect. We don't know everything. So we can all learn from each other. I really want to hear from you. However, if you are sharing because you disagree, please make sure that you provide some valuable, solutions. Like, don't just say any old thing. I want you to provide solutions based off of your personal experience, what has worked really, really great for you and landed you in the best possible financial position. But also, if you have a financial advisor as well, some of the advice given to you by your financial advisor that you are soon to be implementing. Okay, so thank you kindly. I appreciate your support in that. All right, and sharing your solutions to some of these problems that I will be presenting tonight. Okay, so now let's jump right into step number 12. This is 12 out of 14 steps to be recession ready. So number 12 is secure essential supplies. So I'm pretty sure you're wondering, like, Leona, what do you mean by that? Trust me, you're going to know as soon as I get into this. But I do want to share something with you. We're going to go over consequences first with each one of these steps, like I've done on the past ones, because I want to make sure we all are aware of some of the consequences and the impact of that when we are not prepared with that particular step, but also go into how you can get prepared, okay? So like I said, step number 12 is secure essential supplies. Now, some of the consequences of not having essential supplies, of course, can lead to difficulties during emergencies or shortages. I want you all to remember how people reacted at the beginning of COVID-19, that whole pandemic. Let's not forget, okay? If you have forgotten, trust me, I will refresh your memory here in a second, okay? Now, the impact of not securing your essential supplies is that not having them, of course, can result in higher expenses due to panic buying, inability to meet basic needs, and increased stress. This will actually, now that we know everything we know, a majority of us have experienced as adults, have at least experienced COVID-19. So now you know what happened. Like, y'all remember how hand sanitizer was out, and then they had these outrageous costs. Like, I remember going on Amazon, y'all, I cannot remember the cost, but I just know. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, that was my response. Seeing the price, I was like, you got to be kidding me. People are charging this much for hand sanitizer? What? That makes no sense. But you know why? Because that is something that is an essential need, a necessity in times of a medical pandemic, in our case with COVID-19, right? Now, did y'all remember about toilet paper and water? Remember how it was you could only buy a certain amount depending on the store, depending on the city and state you were in? I don't know how it was for those outside of the United States, but in the United States, we could only buy, depending on where you were, you could only go into the store and come out with, 2 or 3 cases of water at a time. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that I need you all, don't forget now. I know y'all remember how it was during COVID. This is a consequence of not being prepared and having your essential supplies when there is a recession, when there is a depression, when there is a pandemic, epidemic, when there is a cyber attack happening over the entire country. I'm saying that slow for a reason. I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, this is why Wired Design Consulting Services. See, I have to say some of this stuff slowly, so that way I say it right. Welcome. But this is why Wired Design Consulting Services. This is why we need to get prepared today and not wait until tomorrow to start buying in bulk. Now, here's the thing. I was listening to Trapping Tuesdays yesterday because I missed the actual live session, but I watched the replay yesterday, and he touched on this very topic. And it's funny because this has already been playing. Like, all 14 parts of this series, this was already playing last month. Like, I had already had all of this stuff wrote out. So anyway, it's also funny too because me and my husband, we've been talking about this in great detail for the past year. And I'm talking about like last year. We were talking about this. And the reason for that, for me personally, was, of course, we had COVID-19 happen and we saw some of the things that were occurring. But also I was doing some digging and I was noticing, I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but there are a good bulk of billionaires that are buying up farmland. On top of buying up farmland, they are building bunkers, y'all. People with big money building bunkers, don't that raise a red flag to somebody else besides me? I'm just saying. So anyway, that was just, it was funny to me, not funny, haha, but it was just interesting to me that I had these topics already planned out, and then he brought this up as well on Tuesday. He actually brought it up prior to that. I think it was like the week before or something as well. He kind of like glossed over it, but he mentioned it and then did a little more talking about it, did a little more digging into it on Tuesday. So if y'all are really into stocks and stuff, I definitely always suggest, that's the shameless plug. I don't get paid for it, but I would say check out Wall Street Trapper because he really explains the stock market in the best possible way, especially for me. I understand it perfectly fine. So if you're interested in the stock market, go check him out on YouTube, okay? Wall Street looks like us now. Now, anyway, when I was listening to that, I want to make sure that I share a few things that we were talking about, me and my husband were talking about, and also add that, which is pretty much the same thing we were talking about, but add, what we experienced during COVID-19 specifically, like some of the things that we can do and some of the things that we should stock up on. So one of the first things I will tell y'all is, of course, we need to eat to live. So you want to make sure that you stock up on non-perishable items. What does that mean, Leona? I've heard the term, but I don't know what that means. That means things that have a long shelf life that we can consume. You should start stocking up on those things. So like your canned goods, you can buy a bunch of beans, lentils, things of that nature, rice, depending on, of course, some of these things, there is a certain temperature that you need to store it at. So you need to be mindful of that as well. So it won't last very long in really hot climates, like that cuts down the shelf life. So that's something you really need to be aware of. Shout out to the Army for teaching me about about these things, because I was in food service, but you got to really be prepared for that. So anything that has a very long shelf life that you can consume, you want to purchase those things, y'all. Even if you can get some MREs, if you can get your hands on some cases of MREs, like going to some of these Army surplus stores. I don't know if they're going to have cases, but, I would say just buy as many as you can. But I'm going to get into how we do that, but just buy as many as you can over time. And then that way you have it. You're prepared. You're good to go. Okay. And that's just one thing. But I know I kind of chuckled at the whole MRE thing. But seriously though, y'all, just start purchasing things that have a long shelf life, okay, that you and your family can survive on. That's first part of securing our essential supplies, okay? Notable beauty. And then on top of that, we want to purchase our household things. Like these are things that we really need to help us to stay healthy, okay? And this is like to fight off any types of infections and all kind of stuff. So y'all already know. Hand sanitizer, y'all. If you have not learned anything from the pandemic, there will be one thing that you should know you need to have in your household in bulk, okay? You need to have that in bulk. It's hand sanitizer, tissue, of course, bleach. I know some people don't think about that, but getting a bunch of bleach, because that was something I didn't think about initially, but I was like, no, when I look back, I'm like, they were constantly out of bleach too. So buy in bulk bleach, first aid kits, vitamins, antibiotics, all of this stuff. Any type of, if you know that you or members of your family tend to have really bad headaches, I'm not telling you to go buy all of it up at one time, y'all. We're gonna get into that, but make sure that you're buying those types of medicine. So if you need Excedrin migraine, then you may want to start buying more than what you normally do when you go to the store. Just buy an extra pack or two, okay, when you go grocery shopping, so that way you have it moving forward. Flashlights, batteries, all kind of stuff, things that you know you're gonna need, candles, like stuff like this, things that you know you're gonna need. And you don't have to worry about getting some expensive, smell good candles and stuff. Y'all get candles so that way you can have light, okay? So if for whatever reason you run out of batteries, and you don't have any batteries for your flashlights and stuff, at least you have candles. Make sure you buy lighters, okay? All of that stuff. So these are just some things, y'all. You know what you need, okay? Kind of put together a survival kit. Have that in your vehicles as well. So extra blankets, so on and so forth, okay? Water, yada, yada, all that good stuff, okay? And then I know some of you may not agree with this, what I'm about to say, but hey, you do what you do for your family. But having a large supply of ammunition and weapons will definitely come in handy, okay? Now, it's best to have and not need than to need it and don't have it. I'm just saying. My husband is really big on, making sure that we have weapons and ammunition, and I agree with him 1,000%. Because if something, unfortunately, were to happen, especially here in the United States, and we need to protect ourselves, right? And we have to move and all of that stuff, then guess what? You sitting here saying, oh man, I should have bought it. It ain't gonna do any good at that time. So make sure, if you believe in protecting yourself and your family, you may want to go ahead now and get your ammo, get your weapons, and take your tail to the gun range if you are not familiar with how to fire a weapon, okay? Go get your practice on. Make that part of your routine at least every week. or every month, if money is an issue for you, at least once a month, or if you know somebody that stay in the country, take your butt out there to the country, set up some, you know what I'm saying, some makeshift targets and get your practice on. I don't care. It should not be an excuse, okay? So that's part of it. Then the other thing I want to share with y'all is just make sure that you create a stockpile without overspending. You can do this by buying in bulk, especially with those non-perishable items like I mentioned. You can go to Sam's, Costco, whatever. But I need you to make sure that you are intentional of on what you will purchase, and then also the frequency in which you're going to be buying in bulk. So are you going to be buying in bulk this particular item this week or this month? So let's say you're like, hey, look, I want to start with hand sanitizer because I got a bunch of water right now. So I want to start with hand sanitizer. Okay, so when you go to the grocery store, let's say next week, buy at least 2 of those big old bottles of hand sanitizer. You don't have to go and buy like 5, 10 of them. No, just buy 2 big ones this week. Then next week, you may say, hey, look, I'm going to the store. I'm going to buy some more water. I'm going to buy 3 more cases of water than what I normally do. So if you only normally buy 1 case of water per week, then buy a total of 3. Okay? Or 2, whatever your budget can allow. Y'all, just don't attempt to buy everything at one time. That's where a lot of us messed up with COVID, to be honest. We weren't anticipating this type of shortage or that type of shortage. And because we weren't anticipating that type of shortage, a lot of us didn't have a sustainable amount of essential things in our homes. So we were going to the Amazons, we were going to these different websites, attempting to find these things that we needed because the stores were out or the stores were limiting the amount that we could purchase. Okay. So on top of that, adjust your budget now to accommodate those bulk purchases. Okay. That is a way that you can create a stockpile without overspending and overextending yourself financially. And this way, when the prices of these essentials skyrocket again, or there is a claim that there is a shortage of these specific supplies, you and your family are all set. That is the goal, y'all. So if this is helping you so far, let me know in the comments. Okay, let me know in the comments right now if this is helping you so far and you're still here. Say, I'm here for it, Leona. I'm ready to go. I got it. I got number 12 down. I'm going to secure my essential supplies. I'm going to make my budget so that way I can buy in bulk. I'm going to be specific moving forward, starting today. I'm starting today's Sky Farm Media. Okay, I said that slow. Welcome. All right, now let's move on to number 13. Okay, we have 14 steps that we are covering to be recession ready. This is step 13. This is part 4 for those of you that are new on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Thank you all. So step 13 is going to be review and adjust your investments. Now, why is this important? Well, first, of course, I'm going to give you the consequences of not reviewing and adjusting your investments. All right. Hello again. Failing to review and adjust your investments can result in an unbalanced portfolio and increase your risk. Y'all, what does that mean? This means you could actually experience significant financial losses, particularly during downturns in the market. On top of that, if there is a nationwide cyber attack, guess what? You may not have access to your digital assets or your money in your bank, okay? And then on top of that, the other impact of this is you could fail to meet your long-term financial goals, y'all. So here's the thing. This is why it is very, very important to regularly review and adjust your investments. Now, if you're saying to me, Leona, I'm not even there yet to invest, well, guess what? I need you to get to that point. Go back and review part 1 of this series because I talk about how you can get to that point, okay? So now, in order for us to do that, there are going to be a few things I'm going to share with you all as to why you would want to consider rebalancing your investment portfolio, since we're talking about reviewing and adjusting our investments. So number one of rebalancing our investment portfolio is because there will be the value of certain assets in our portfolio can change due to market conditions. Now I want y'all to just remember this. This just happened. Was it last week? I think it was last week where they had that nationwide, kind of like a glitch in the system. Okay. So you're talking about planes being delayed and or canceled, all kind of stuff, and then people not able to access bank accounts and whatnot. Now, this is not, y'all, I need y'all to be very clear on this. I am not attempting to instill fear in anyone. What I am doing is hopefully making you aware of what is possible, what has happened, and also what you can do to prepare yourself should it happen again and or at a larger scale. Okay? Now, let's just use gold and silver for an example. Let's say that, there is a widespread cyber attack that hinders each of us from accessing our banks, our broker accounts, and that includes your crypto portfolio, people. Okay? So let's just say that happens. And then now you're going to be wondering, well, how do I make purchases for those necessities? How do I make purchases for whatever I may need? Right? Well, guess what? The barter system may come back into play, to be honest. And this could also increase the value of gold or silver during that time. So I've talked about purchasing gold and silver for the past at least 2 years, y'all, because I was told to do it. And I learned that, even if I'm not a millionaire, I can, in the physical, even if I'm not a millionaire in the physical, I can still purchase gold and silver. I can purchase gold by the gram. I can purchase gold by the ounce. I can purchase silver by the ounce. So that means, y'all, it's smaller, it's easier to carry, to maneuver. And, if you purchase a few grams of gold, y'all, that could be somewhere between $50 in value, $75 in value, whatever is going on. So if you need to make a purchase and something is like $100 or whatever, you can have either your ounces, a few ounces of gold in hand, or a few grams of gold in hand. Right? Versus ounces, because ounces of gold right now, you're talking about well over $2,000. So you don't want to have any ounces of gold, on you if you're going to make a smaller purchase. So this is something that you could make sure that you start investing in if you have not invested in it already and are not consistently investing in it already. On top of it, y'all, like I said, with your essential supplies, having those antibiotics, okay, that's a good way to be able to pay for stuff, because if there is a shortage of certain essential supplies and you have an abundance of those things, then guess what? You could potentially swap that for what it is you need, right? Listen, again, y'all, I'm not trying to fearmonger anybody, but I need you to really think about, making sure that you have stuff on hand should there not be access to your dollars, should there not be access to your broker account, should there not be access to your crypto portfolio. My husband said, and there's a company called Glint Pay that you can buy and spend gold. See, there you go. So for y'all on YouTube and Facebook, you can check out Glint Pay, GLINT Pay, PAY, so that you can buy and spend gold. There you go. Okay. So that's a resource for y'all. I didn't even know about Glint Pay. So kudos. Thank you, husband, for sharing that. So this is just something to think about, y'all. Okay. So that's number one. So should there be a widespread, nationwide or global, all right, cyber attack that happens and you cannot access your bank, you cannot access your broker account that has hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in it, Y'all, I'm telling you now, making sure that you have those essential supplies that we talked about in step number 12, and making sure that you're purchasing small amounts of gold and silver. Buy the gold by the gram, buy the gold by the ounce. Y'all don't have to worry about, oh man, I can't afford a kilo or not. Listen, ain't nobody gonna bring a kilo and break it down for you. So buy the gold in the grams, okay? Buy gold in ounces. Do both, y'all. Have both. Buy them in grams and ounces, because grams cost less, and that means it's easier for you to carry that, as well as the ounces, because you can have gold coins, okay? Or those little mini gold bars. They have like really small gold bars, but they have them in ounces as well. Okay, same thing with silver. They sell them by the ounce as well. So now you can just carry that around. All right. So that's just something to think about. Number 2, though, when we're talking about reviewing and adjusting our investments, specifically rebalancing our investment portfolio. Number 2, we want to make sure that we're keeping in mind that rebalancing our portfolio can enhance our returns, because this can help us sell high-performing assets at the right time while also buying other assets at wholesale or discounted prices. Now, here's the thing. Let's say that there is another recession that occurs, because we haven't experienced that since 2008, 2009, right? So let's say there is a recession. Well, more than likely, a lot of these assets that you have been waiting on to purchase, there will be a opportunity for you to purchase them at wholesale and discount prices. Okay, so make sure that you're putting your money to the side in preparation for that. Number 3, when we're talking about rebalancing our portfolio, this enforces a disciplined strategy and helps us to remove emotional attachments to an asset. Why? Because we know there is a purpose for us rebalancing our portfolio, because we want to make more money over time, but we also want to make sure that if there is certain things that occur, our portfolio reflects that and we can survive and also thrive during that time, okay? Now, here are a few tips, because we're still on number 13. I'm wrapping number 13 up. Here are a few tips to assessing risk tolerance, because this is another part to it. Assessing risk tolerance and aligning our investments accordingly. Remember, y'all, I'm not a financial advisor, okay? All I'm doing is sharing things that is working for me through trial and error over the years, but also things that I have been taught most recently or have been told most recently by my own financial advisor, okay? So number 1, I need you to understand your financial goals. What are you investing for, y'all? Is this for retirement? Is this for home ownership? Is this for your kids' college? What is your reason for investing in that particular market at that particular time, okay? Number 2, I need you to consider time, because you need to know how long you plan on holding your investments. Y'all, when you are holding these investments, that's going to determine your risk tolerance. Think about this. People that are younger have more time to make more mistakes, and they may be a bit riskier than a person that is in their 50s, that's in their 60s, and in their 70s, okay? Because they have more time to deal with the fluctuations of the market, okay? And they can make those adjustments. So hopefully this is making sense. If it's making sense, let me know. Put make sense in the comments, y'all, on YouTube and Facebook, and then you all on Instagram. Put make sense in the comments, okay? If that's making sense. Now, number 3 is evaluate your comfortability with volatility. Leona, what do you mean? Okay, look, I've told y'all before, I've mentioned this numerous times, I'm an investor in the cryptocurrency market. There are so many people that won't invest in crypto, specifically, I say Bitcoin, right? Because everybody, for the most part, knows about Bitcoin. They may not know Bitcoin, but they may know about. They've heard it, okay? So there are so many reasons why people won't invest in it. And I'm just going to use Bitcoin as an example. Because cryptocurrency is very volatile, let's just say today is the 26th of July, okay? It's 6:40 p.m. my time. Now, let's say right now, Bitcoin is at $69,000, right? Well, in the next hour, it could clearly drop to 60,000 or lower. That's what I mean by volatility. Can you handle that? Can your heart take it? Or will you sit here and experience heart palpitations? Or will you be like, oh my gosh, This the big one right here. Like you over here, Fred Sanford and stuff. We don't need you to be over here, Fred Sanford, holding your heart, about to have a heart attack. No, I need you to be okay with it. If you're not okay with it, stay away from that particular market. Just being honest, okay? Until your risk tolerance increases and you can handle that type of volatility. All right. Number four, diversify your investments and assess your financial situation. I've talked about this before, even in this series, y'all. But look, I'm going to say it again. Number one, never invest money into any market that you cannot afford to lose. I need you to just think of it like this. I'm putting this money out there. If it makes back more money, awesome. If it doesn't, hey, man, it's not going to make or break me and my family at this time, okay? So you need to invest in smaller quantities so that way you're not sitting here banking on this to be the big move for you, okay? That's number one. Number two, I need you to think about making sure that you budget for your investments, okay? Readjust your budget so that way it makes it easier for you to do for the long term. If you plan for your investments, you're more likely to invest every single month, every single week, every single quarter, whatever your plan entails, okay? Number three, choose different markets, y'all. Choose different markets to invest in, but make sure it makes sense for your percentage that you're going to be investing. So if I'm talking about preparing for a potential cyber attack that could have impacted us nationwide, at this point, I would not be investing a very large percentage into digital assets. It would be in more physical assets. And I hope y'all get what I'm saying. So physical assets like your gold, your silver, okay? Things of that nature, all right? Even if you were to say real estate, yeah, you could say real estate, but there was a crash, and I'm gonna get to that later. But there was a crash that happened in 2008, 2009 with this recession, and that greatly impacted the real estate market. So just something to think about. So with everything I've shared, y'all, it's just imperative that at the end of the day, you consult your financial advisor for personalized advice. Okay. They have more experience, they have more knowledge, they have a larger network and all of that than I do. And so they can guide you in accomplishing your financial goals for you and your family. So I'm just a vessel at this point to make you aware of some things that you can ask your financial advisor and then possibly consider implementing into your life. Okay. So that is it on that. Now we have officially completed step 13, y'all. We are about to go into step 14. Let me know if you are still here. If you're still with me, put I'm here, Leona. So I know I'm not talking to myself, okay? For real. I mean, I love sharing information, y'all, but I don't like talking to myself. And contrary to popular belief, if that is even a case, I don't like hearing myself talk. So I'm the person prefer to be in the background, but I know that we need more people sharing information. So that's why I'm willing to put myself on camera and share these things that I have been taught, the things that I've been applying, the things that have worked for me, but also the things that have not worked for me. So that way you can create your own blueprint for success. Okay. Now let's dive into our last step in becoming recession ready. All right. That is prepare for the long term, y'all. We want to prepare for the long term, but let's get into consequences first, okay? Consequences. Number one consequence for lack of long-term financial planning can jeopardize future financial security, period. Your financial security is on the line. This can lead to an inadequate retirement savings, your inability to achieve major financial milestones, and long-term financial instability at the end of the day. Okay? So again, I want you to think about what you have experienced during COVID-19 or what you witnessed other people close to you, or just, in general, what you have witnessed other people experience. Now, if you can't think about that, but you were actually personally impacted negatively in 2008, 2009, I need you to remember what those years were like and how long it took you to get back on your feet financially, if you were able to get back on your feet financially. At the end of the day, y'all, I just don't want us to repeat history, okay? Don't repeat history, people, please. Let's do what we need to do, okay? And that's why we need to be serious about long-term financial planning, okay? Because a recession can most definitely impact long-term plans like our retirement or even buying a home, right? And here's how. I need to share this with y'all. If you're ready, let me know. Type "I'm ready" in the chat. Let me know that you're ready in the chat, okay? Because look, I don't want to just keep talking and then like y'all not with me. All right, cool. So here's how I can impact our retirement, right? So when it comes to retirement, your portfolio value may be reduced, okay? And that's due to stock market decline. Bonds and other fixed income investments may see lower returns. Increased withdrawals may occur, right? I didn't even think about that until I was like doing this stuff and doing the research, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's right. You may increase your withdrawals, which may deplete your retirement fund faster. And then there may be some people like, look, I'm not prepared. So altogether, you may have to delay your retirement. Okay? That's how a recession can impact our retirement. Now, what about home buying? Okay, well, recession can impact your home buying because it can slow down due to lack of jobs available, right? And income. Okay, y'all notice COVID-19, a lot of people were losing their jobs. A lot of people just said, forget it, I'm quitting because I'm not taking the jab. Like, that's just what it was, okay? So people lost their job behind that, okay? So that meant income was gone. On top of that, you may experience tighter lending standards, all right? And then there may be a lower property value. This can actually significantly impact current homeowners. On top of it, you may see an increase in interest rates, and that's due to perceived higher risk. So all of this stuff, y'all, when we're talking about recession readiness, just look at retirement, and also if you do plan on purchasing a home, how that can impact you in the home buying process or as a current home owner. All right. Now, here are a few ways that we can stay on track with our long-term financial goals. All right. So we've covered a lot of them over the past 4 weeks. So I'm just going to just go over it again. Number one, you need to maintain a diverse portfolio. I literally just talked about that. Okay. Number two, create and utilize your budget. Okay. Stick to that budget, y'all. Don't go outside that budget. If you say, hey, I'm only giving myself a $500 allowance to do miscellaneous stuff or whatever, don't go over the $500, period. If it's $200, don't go over the $200. If you say, hey, I'm putting $250, I'm putting $1,000, I'm putting $5,000 into this particular savings account because this is going to cover any things that I know I may, need to pay for: tires, services of my vehicle, repairs to my home, so on and so forth. I know these things are going to happen at some point this year. I want to have money in there. That's fine. Do that. Stick with it. Okay. That's number two. Number three, regularly review and adjust your investments, which I just talked about. Invest consistently. When you create your budget, you're going to include what you plan to invest in, the frequency in which you're going to invest in it, the amount that you're going to invest in it. Okay. That should be included in your budget. All right. Focus on long-term goals. And then lastly, reduce debt. We should not, if we are preparing for a recession, we should not be willingly carrying over bad debt. We should be swiftly, consistently working very diligently to reduce that bad debt, y'all. I'm so serious. If you don't do anything else, the first thing you should be doing is, after you create your budget, is reducing your debt. That should be the first thing on your list, is reduce that debt. And then as you reduce that debt and you start to either do the avalanche or the snowball, whichever one, okay? Do what you need to do But I need you to figure that out with getting that debt reduced. Then you can talk about, hey, I'm going to invest in X, Y, and Z. And that's only if your budget is very, very tight and you really have no wiggle room, okay? But if you can reduce debt and invest at the same time and put something to the side for your emergency savings, yo, do it, okay? Do that, because that would actually be better than just focusing on debt at one time. All right. So as you may have noticed, y'all, because this is the end, that was number 14. Okay. We talked about prepare for the long term. So as you may have noticed, throughout this series, I've addressed potential consequences and also provided potential solutions to aid in your recession readiness. Y'all, knowing is half the battle, right? So if we know that, and we know that this information gives us the armor to take to our financial advisor, then that means that we're going to be taking those proactive measures, because now we are armed with the information. If there's anything that I shared with you all over the past 4 weeks that made sense or you were not aware of, and you're like, man, I need to implement it, put it in the comments, y'all. Seriously, put it in the comments, because you sharing that may help someone else. Okay. The goal is for every one of you watching this live or the replay, okay, live or the replay, is for you to be in a much better financial position before as well as after a major recession, pandemic, depression, or cyber attack, okay? Now, I want y'all to go out here and get to work. Seriously, if this has helped you, feel free to share your key takeaways in the comments. I would really love to see that. Also, share this video with someone that you know could use it. Y'all remember, sharing is caring. We want to make sure that we're not hoarding information, especially if we are talking about we want our communities to have this economic uprising. You know what I'm saying? We want to see people in our community winning financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, all of these things. Then hoarding information does not help, but sharing information definitely helps. Okay, so share this with someone that you know could use it. And lastly, stay connected, y'all, because there is so much more to come. I'm going to have a new series starting next Friday. That is August 2nd. Okay, August 2nd of 2024. I'll be back at the same time unless the votes say otherwise, because I will be doing some polls to see if this time works or if I need to switch times or switch days. Okay, so that way you all can be present and getting this information. But until then, as of right now, I'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific next Friday, August 2nd. Okay, so thank y'all so very much for joining me on a Friday night. I appreciate it. I really do. I thank y'all so very much for constantly rocking with me. I hope y'all have a really great weekend. And don't forget, before I go, you know I'm going to leave y'all with my favorite quote, and that is from the legend. His name is Arthur Ashe, and he says, start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see y'all next Friday. Bye, y'all.